Thanks for joining me on your mats today. So today we're going to start slightly different. We're going to start on our bellies. So you're going to come to lay down on your belly. We're going to do things differently, right? Getting out of the pattern a little bit and just shake things up. So what I want you to do is bend your left knee out to the side and then just flex your foot. So it's a half froggy pose here. And then you can stack your palms and make a little blanket here. And just start to soften through the breath, but energy through that foot. So allow the pelvis to get heavy on the floor here. Take a few cleansing breaths. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more times. Breathe in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Final one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now you're going to extend your right arm out to the side. Make sure your hand is roughly in line with the shoulder. And then just roll towards that right shoulder. Plant your left foot on the ground. Rest your head. And then flex through your right foot as well. So we are opening the shoulder now. Creating a little bit of space into the upper body. Just take a moment here to run a quick scan. Notice how you feel today at this moment as far as your energy level goes. Anything that feels stuck, that feels heavy. And then slowly just roll back to your belly and then switch sides. So I'm just gonna turn around. I'm gonna take that half frog pose. So bend your right knee, flex your right foot, and just hang here for 3 slow breaths. Just notice the tightness in the hips, if that's the case today. Let the pelvis relax. Curl the toes. Soften a bit more. And then if you're ready, start to extend your left arm. And then roll towards your shoulder, plant your right foot on the ground. Your hand can rest here in front of you, or you can wrap your arm behind your back. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly, mindful of each inhale and exhale. Final one. Breathe in. Slow exhale. At your own time, come back to your belly and then press back to a child's pose. This child's pose, I want you to bring your knees slightly wider, and you will see later why. So walk the hands in. Again, if the forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can just make little fists with your hands and you can rest your forehead, but allow yourself to relax here. Notice the hips, the low back. Notice the breath. And then slowly shift forward to a tabletop and just take a few rounds here of cat and cow. So inhale, Lift your gaze, arch the spine. Exhale, round, tuck your chin. If you tend to tuck the toes under, maybe on top today, or do the other way around. You can start to draw circles here, pressing back. Allow yourself to be curious, creative. Give yourself permission to explore your breath and your body. We're gonna be doing quite a bit of dynamic movements today. So you're gonna inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, press back down, child's pose, not downward dog. Inhale, arch your spine, let the heart shine. Exhale, round, press back. And you're gonna hear here some sounds in the shoulders, in the hips. All right, next time we go forward into that, instead of taking a cow, we're gonna do a couple chaturanga push-ups with the knees on the floor. So walk the hips forward a little bit more. Inhale, pull the belly in, slowly take a half push-up here, and then press back, child's pose. We're gonna do this 3 more times. Watch so the shoulders don't dip below the elbows. Hug the elbows in. So warming up a little bit more. 2 more times. Good. Final one. And press back to child's pose. Curl the toes under, press up and back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here, paddle the feet, shake the head, yes and no. We're gonna add a little bit of side movement here into the side body. So turn your toes to the right. If you can, raise your right arm to the sky, bend your knees a little bit. So it's a modified side plank. Come back to center, inhale. Turn your toes to the left. Maybe raise your left arm. You don't have to, you guys. Do this 1 more time on each side. And remember, you can bend your knees as much as you need. You can just turn your toes. You're gonna feel that side stretch. And then come back to neutral into downward dog. Ground yourself here as you spread your fingers wide. Tone your arms, relax the shoulders. So make sure the shoulder blades are coming apart as you do this pose, and then that you slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Take 1 more breath here. Remember, this is your home base. You can always come back here at any time. Now, you're gonna slowly come to the top of the mat. Cross your right leg over the left over the right. Take baby steps, and then come to feet parallel to each other. Press your hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, fold. 2 more times here. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. Final one. Maybe the hands come even higher this time. Inhale, slide those shoulders down. Pull that belly in, relax your toes, and fold. Round your spine, press your feet, coming all the way up. Sweep the arms, palms touch. Draw the hands to the heart center. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of side stretch here. So this is what I want you guys to do. You're gonna cross your left leg over the right. I'm gonna mirror. And you can have the feet slightly wider if you want. Sweep your arms around. Take your left hand to your right wrist. reach up and over to the left. Breathe here, relax your toes, soften the shoulders. Send your breath into the side body. One more. Come back to center. You're going to lace the fingers behind your back. Loop the shoulders back and down. Breathe in and then breathe out, slowly fold. Lace the fingers, rinse the knuckles away from the spine. Here's an opportunity to maybe move the head yes and no. Open and close your mouth. Again, notice any tension transferring to the toes. Now release your hands to the floor or your blocks. Option to stay here or walk your hands towards the left side. You're gonna feel a little bit more into the outer leg, into the IT band. One more breath here. Slowly come back to center. Take your hands to your hips. Slowly come all the way up with the flat back. Good, uncross the legs. Shake it out a little bit if you need. We're gonna go right to the other side. So cross the legs, spread your toes. Inhale, sweep your arms. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Reach up and over. Keep your hips and shoulders squared towards the screen. Breathe here, untuck the chin. Maybe find something new, go a little deeper here, find a little more sensation. And return to center. Take that bind behind your back. Try to do opposite grip, the way that you need to think about, the way that feels weird. Inhale, and then exhale, fold. So first, we're gonna stay here for a couple breaths. Don't be afraid, friends, to feel sensation, right? When we come to our mats, things come up. That's why we have our breath. To stay present, to use those sensations for transformation. Release your hands. Take a breath in. As you exhale, if you want, walk your hands to the right. Notice where you're shifting the weight, if it's all the way on your heels, all the way on your toes. One more breath here. And walk the hands back to center. Hands to your hips, press through your feet. Slowly come all the way up. Uncross the legs. Just move a little bit here, shake it out, let go. And then at the top of your mat, take an inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, slowly fold. Let your chest lead the way. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out to fold. Take your left hand under the face to the floor or a block. Bend your left knee. Raise your right arm to the sky. Brighten the fingers. Again, breathe into the IT band, into the outer glute, hamstring, and slowly release. Switch sides. Take your right hand to the floor, raise your left arm. Watch so that shoulder is not creeping up towards your ear. Breathe here for one more. And slowly release. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to step your left foot back. Take a breath here. Square off the hips first. Lengthen through the spine. Keep that neck nice and long. Now here, hands on the floor or your blocks. Extend your front leg. Hover your left shin. So that's where the blocks may be handy here, you guys. Inhale, come back to that lunge. We're gonna do this 3 more times. Press back to pounce pose, curl the toes. Inhale, back to lunge. As you come to your lunge, find a little bit more into the hips. Just 1 more time. Now hold it here. Extend your leg, extend, lengthen through the spine. Breathe at the belly of the hamstring. You're gonna feel that left quad burning up a little bit. And then find 2 straight legs, pyramid pose. Breathe, adjust your stance if you need. For more, you flex your right foot, but keep a soft bend on your right knee. And be mindful of the spine. Avoid rounding the spine too much. Final breath. All right, rebend your right knee. I want you to step back to plank. Hold it here. Your knees can come to the ground, friends, if you need. We're gonna wake up the obliques a little bit. So we're gonna do hip dips. Doesn't have to be a huge movement. Slowly dip your left hip. Come back to center and the right. Center, left, center, right. 1 more time. Stay with your breath. Keep pressing through the palms. I'm lying. 1 more on each side. Back to center. Inhale. Shift to the toe tips or bring the knees down to the ground and slowly lower down. Bring the hands wide, spider cobra. So we're going to explore different back bends as well today. I want you to hold here for 1 more breath. Tone those legs, draw the navel towards the spine and release. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg to the sky. Step your foot forward. Hold it here. First, arrive at your pose. Take your time. It's not a race. All right, dynamic movement here. So I want you to follow your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Press back, extend your left leg. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, reach back. 2 more. Final one. Hold it here, 2 breaths. Yes, try to soften into the shape, but keep the power of the legs here, but try to keep the upper body soft and easy. Good, slowly you're gonna straighten your legs for pyramid pose. If you need to adjust, bringing that right foot forward just a couple inches. Your heel doesn't have to touch the floor. And fold here. Make the breath your priority right now. Inhale, slowly rebend your knee. You're going to step back to plank. A couple of options here. You can just hold your plank or you can do shoulder taps if you want a little bit more. You can take your right hand to left shoulder, left hand, right shoulder. Doesn't have to be fast, but be mindful that you're not moving your hips too much. Really draw the belly in, keep holding your plank, your knees can come to the floor, and slowly roll to the tippy toes, come all the way down. Reach your arms in front of you like a big funnel, and then lift your chest. For those of you that have a flexible spine, walk the hands towards you a little bit more and maybe go a little deeper. Now watch so the shoulders are not coming towards your ears. Roll the shoulders down, yeah, and keep that belly strong. Notice what feels like to just hold this pose. And slowly release. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Reconnect to your breath. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in to lengthen. And breathe out to fold. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep. Lace the fingers behind your back. Breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Go a little deeper here. So remember, we're focusing on IT band, hamstrings. I mean, it's a full body really flow, but we're gonna pay attention to those areas a little bit more today. Keep your bind, rinse the knuckles away from the spine. Bend your left knee, open your chest to the right side. One more breath. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee, open your chest to the left. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Slowly release. You're gonna step your left foot back, coming into that lunge. I'm gonna turn so you can see what I'm gonna do now. So we're just gonna press one time into that pounce pose. We're gonna hold it here for 3 breaths. Keep that shin parallel to the floor. If you need, guys, bring your knee to the floor. It's totally fine. There's no shame ever in modifying a pose. Be honest with yourself, respect your body, your limitations. Lengthen the spine a little bit more. All right, come back into that pyramid pose. So we were here before. Hold it for 1 breath, maybe fold a little deeper. Now listen carefully, stay with me. You may need to shorten the stance just a little bit here. You're gonna start to walk your hands towards the right side. You're gonna roll towards the outer edges of your feet. So the legs are straight, they are not super wide. So see how I'm just like creating a little triangle shape here with my legs, and I'm rolling towards the outer edges of my feet. You're definitely gonna feel this in your IT band. I hope you do. Breathe here. Again, maybe use those blocks, because the closer the hands comes to the floor, the more sensation you're gonna feel in this pose. One more breath here. Now slowly just come to sit in between your legs. We're gonna come into Gomukhasana. So if that bottom knee is bothering you, just extend your bottom leg. Take a breath in, reach your arms out and up. As you exhale, take your right hand to the floor. So I'm not mirroring you right now. Yeah, so breathe here. Try to keep the sits bones down on the ground and the shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Breathe into the outer hips. One more breath. And slowly come up. So you're gonna walk your hands towards your left side. Just walk and take the hands to frame your left foot. Step back to plank. Hold. Knees can come to the floor. Option to raise your right leg. Maybe you raise your left arm and switch. We're gonna do this a couple of times. So the knees can be on the floor. So I didn't tell you we're doing core as well today. One more time each side. And then lower down. Take cobra or upward dog. Back bend of your choice. We meet in downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. Try to let go of what just happened and try not to anticipate the future. Even though if you know what's coming, see if you can just be with your breath, be in your body. You're gonna raise your left leg to the sky, step your left foot forward. First, just arrive at your lunge. Tone that back leg. Take another breath in. Exhale, extend through the left leg, pounce pose. Hover that back shin. Embrace the challenge if this is challenging for you. I know my quad is burning and my hamstring is also shaking a little. One more breath here. Discomfort is part of the process. And slowly extend both legs, pyramid pose. So, as I mentioned before, it might be easier if you walk that foot forward a little bit more. Fold here, take another breath. And then just walk your hands towards your left side and you start to rotate your feet as well, so you're on the outer edges of your feet. If you're like, okay, this is crazy, it's too much, you can always just cross your legs like we did in the beginning of the class. But again, maybe try something different, try something new. Shake your head yes and no. Open and close your mouth. One more breath here. And then mindfully come to sit in between your feet. You can always slide that blanket or block under the sits bones. Flex through your feet, so lots of energy through the balls of the feet. Take a breath in, sweep your arms, and then exhale, left hand comes down to the floor. Take that side stretch. Try to soften a bit more through the upper body. Relax into the outer hips, outer glutes, the leg. Final one. Good. Mindfully come back to center. Your hands are gonna come to the right side. Keep turning, turning, turning until you find a lunge. As you frame your right foot, friends, move like you can flow or you can just press back to downward dog. Be mindful of your transitions. Notice if you hit the autopilot and just go, or if you actually are mindful of every single move. Every single pose matters, and each pose has its own breath. Breathe here. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Breathe in to lengthen and breathe out to fold. One more, inhale. Exhale. All right, I want you to, so we're gonna get a little deeper into the back of the legs. So you're going to bend your knees as much as you need here. Bring your belly to touch your legs. And then wrap your arms behind your legs. See if you can reach for elbows with opposite hands. And again, you can bend your knees a lot. And as you start to create more space, maybe you start to straighten the legs a little bit more. Breathe. Two more. Let the head hang. And slowly release. Press through your feet. Inhale, slowly come up. Hands to the heart center. All right, we're gonna work on a little balancing pose right now. So you're gonna transfer the weight to your left foot. Just lift your right heel off the ground. Stop number one will be your knee here, about hip height. Make sure you can see your toes. You're gonna twist to your right. Left hand can stay on your leg. Stop number two. Your hand comes to the outer edge of your foot, and then you kick that foot in front of you. Yes, stand nice and tall. Trust yourself. Keep that standing leg strong, and if you can, gaze towards your right hand, friends. Breathe. Whatever you do, your leg doesn't have to be super straight, but your shoulders should be in line with your hips, and that standing leg is nice and straight. Come back to center. Let go of your foot. Raise your leg here. Maybe lose your balance. Take one more breath and release. Shake it out. Whew. Thank yourself for trusting, for your efforts. All right, I'm just gonna turn to the other side. So this time, your right foot stays on the floor. Lift your left heel, grow tall here. Pull that belly in, stack the shoulders over hips. Lift your knee just about hip height first. Find your balance, so you wanna arrive at the pose. Then, option to just twist. Take your hand to your leg, extend your arm behind you. Maybe you stay here, otherwise, grab your foot and then kick in front of you. So the hamstring may not be as flexible on one side. So if you need to bend your knee, that's totally okay. You can use the wall for support. One more breath. Slowly back to center. Kick that foot, raise your leg, raise your arms. One more breath. And release, shake it out. Let's move the energy. Inhale, sweep the arms, let go of the pose, and then fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, stack or jump. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Press up and back to downward facing dog. Breathe here for a moment. We're gonna go into falling triangles. So you do have the option to keep both hands on the floor or bring your right knee to the floor, friends. Raise your right leg to the sky. Take your right knee to your left elbow. Start to turn your left foot out. Extend your leg out to the side. Lift your hips, maybe raise your arm. Yeah, you have the strength. Maybe you lift your right leg here for a little bit more core challenge. One more breath. And back to three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Plant your left heel. Rise for warrior two. Yeah, now find your alignment, so heel to arch. Back leg strong, right knee is bent to about 90 degrees. Now we're gonna inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch, extend through the right leg. Come back to your warrior two. Every time you inhale, reach. Every time you go back to warrior two, go a little deeper. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, reach. Now take your left hand to your right wrist to lift your right toes off the ground. So your right heel is pressing on the floor. You're taking a reverse triangle pose or archer's pose. Contain the ribs, pull the belly in. Now just release your toes to the floor. We're gonna go into regular traditional triangle pose. So reach your right hand forward, lengthen the side body, and then tuck your arms. Good, right hand can come to the shin, fingertips can be on the floor or a block. You can even spin your left arm over your ear for a little more of a side stretch here. It might feel nice. Good, scoop that right hip under. Lean back, keep your neck long. Press through your feet. Inhale, come back up. Now just pivot your right foot. Make sure your heels are on the same line here. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, slowly fold. Option here to grab your elbows with opposite hands. Or you can even just walk the hands in front of you. Press the hips back as you let the chest release towards the floor. Breathe here. Use this opportunity to just soften the edges of the breath, to create more space, to slow down. One more inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Bring your hands to your hips. Press through your feet. Slowly come all the way up. Good. Turn your left foot out. Turn your right foot slightly in. We're going to go right away into warrior two. So we're facing the other side now. We're bending the left knee this time. Inhale, reach your hands up, extend your leg. Exhale, back to warrior two. So dynamic movement here. Inhale. Exhale, follow the breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, get a little deeper. Last one. Bend your knee, warrior two. Inhale, reach up, hold. Right hand, left wrist. Lift your left toes for a reversed triangle. Just try to soften the knees a little bit, but firm up your quads. One more breath. Release your toes back down. Extend your arms. Inhale, reach forward. Triangle pose. Breathe here. Two more breaths. Find the power of the legs. Find the power of the breath. Inhale, slowly come back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands. Feel free to flow or just press back to downward dog. Child's pose is always available to you as well. Allow yourself to just let go of the chatter, of the distractions, so you can tune in a little bit more with each breath. Listen to what your body's telling you. You're gonna inhale, raise your left leg to the sky. You're gonna go into falling triangle. Draw your knee towards your right elbow. Extend your leg out to the side. Turn your right foot out. Lift your hips. You're gonna feel those obliques engaging. Maybe or maybe not. You raise your left leg. Breathe here. And back to three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward. Open warrior two. Find the pose where you left off last time, friends. You know already the alignment. You know what the pose is supposed to feel like. The alignment will give you stability so you can go back to the breath and explore, right? Flip your palm, reach up and back. Extend your leg, reverse triangle, right hand, left wrist. Open a little bit more into the side body. Come back to warrior two. Now, your forearm can come to your leg or the fingertips to the floor or a block for side angle pose. First, just reach your right arm up and then spin your arm over your ear. Now, I tend to see a lot students collapsing into the shoulder. Avoid doing this. Press your forearm and create space between your ear and your shoulder. Breathe here. One more. Inhale to warrior two. Extend your leg. Turn your heels in. Toes slightly out. Sit nice and low. We're gonna bring the hands to the floor. So you're just gonna walk your hands away from you. Like you're going in a downward dog. You can stay on the fingertips or palms can be flat on the ground. You can even move a little bit from side to side. Just make sure you're pressing those knees towards the pinky toe side. Sit a little deeper. Really breathe into those hips. One more. Slowly extend the legs. Bring the feet parallel. Hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms, inhale, exhale, open warrior two, facing the other side. So right knee is bent. Flip your right palm, reach up and back, reverse peaceful warrior. Keep bending through the right knee. Now extend your right leg, lift your toes, left hand, right wrist. One more breath here. Come back to warrior two. You're gonna go into side angles, so forearm to the leg or fingertips to the floor or a block. Again, watch so you're not collapsing into the shoulder. Press your forearm, stay active. Raise your arm or bring your arm over your ear. Work towards finding that 90-degree angle here. One more breath. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands, pause. So we're gonna go into a Malasana yogi squat right now. So option to bring your blanket or towel and bring it under your heels. I have tight hips, so I need a little support. So it's either a block under the sits bones or a blanket under the heels, but try to keep your feet flat. Now bring the elbows or arms inside your legs. Press the knees in as you find resistance. Let those sits bones reach towards the floor and the shoulders to relax down away from your ears. We're gonna add a little twist, so take your left hand to the floor. Keep your arm in front of your leg. Raise your right arm to the sky. And back to center, inhale. Switch sides, exhale. So right hand to the floor, raise your left arm, breathe. Come back to center, inhale. Option to stay here for a couple more breaths, or if you want to fly and play with crow pose, Bakasana, bring the hands to shoulder width or a little bit wider. Bring your feet to touch, come to the balls of your feet. Bring the knees as high as you can into the armpits or triceps. Maybe just shift the weight towards the finger pads and hold it here. See what this feels like. And then once you build that trust, you raise one foot, maybe you raise both feet off the ground. Whatever you do, breathe, friends. Option to move through one last flow, or just press back to downward dog. And then you're gonna come down to your knees. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit more hip work, and we're gonna do a different variation of frog in a little bit. So as we come to this child's pose, I want you to bring your knees extra wide. So even outside your mat, if you can. If you want to turn sideways so both knees are on the mat and it feels better, you can do that. So make sure the knees are as wide as you can, and then walk your hands forward. Press those hips back. So you should be feeling more sensation into the inner legs and groins here. So just notice from your regular child's pose into this child's pose, are you feeling something different? If not, maybe bring the knees a little bit wider or press the hips. You can grab the outer edges of your sticky mat and press them away from you. Take one more breath here. Walk the hands back towards you and slowly just press back to a downward dog. If you need to bend your knees or shake it out, paddle, do that. And then walk your feet towards your hands. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Inhale, sweep the arms. Hands to the heart center. All right, let's stand here. Bring the feet to touch. We're gonna do one final standing pose. Come to, make sure you're grounding through your right foot. Hands can be here at the heart center or at your hips. Lift your knee about hip height. Flex your toes, make sure you can see your toes. Take a big breath in. Exhale, open your knee to the side. Inhale, back to center. And slowly open your knee to the side. Notice if you're dumping into the right hip, friends. Inhale, center. Option to extend your leg. Slowly open your leg to the side. This is way harder. Come back to center, bend your knee. Open your knee to the side and take tree pose, Vrikshasana. Remember, your foot can be on the floor. The big toe can be on the floor. Now press your foot into the leg into the foot. Slowly sweep your arms out and up. Take your left hand to your right wrist and reach up and over to the left. One more breath here. Come back to center, hands to the heart, and slowly release. Shake it up. Start fresh on the other side. So if you know that the balance is not there, and it can be different right versus left, so maybe you try again the same variation. If not, go to something else. Ground through your left foot, stand tall. Watch so you're not shifting into the hip and compensating. Draw the knee hip height. Take a breath in. Exhale, open your knee to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Final one. Maybe extend your leg. Bend your knee, open it wide, and then take tree pose. Stand tall. Trust. Breathe. And then sweep your arms up. Right hand to left wrist, reach up and over. To your right, take that side stretch, but relax the shoulders. Back to center, hands to the heart, and slowly release, shake it out. Thank yourself for your efforts, for showing up today. All right, so we've done quite a bit of hip work, right? And we're gonna just do a little bit more. So I'm gonna work with frog. So we're going to do just half frog, and we see if we're gonna do a little bit more or not. We've done quite a bit. So you do have the option, friends, to be on facing the long side of your mat. I'm gonna do this sideways so you can see what I'm doing with my legs. So it might be more comfortable for you to face the long side so your knees are on the mat. Otherwise, you can take a blanket to the outside of your mat, come to a tabletop. Your left knee is gonna slide out to the side. Open your knees wide. Extend your right leg. Flex your left foot, just like in the beginning of class when you were on your belly. And then you come down to your forearms. And then you press your hips back. If you have a full frog and you want to do both knees at the same time, please feel free to go there and enjoy yourself. Flex that left foot, press the hips back, relax into the upper body. So if you're doing both legs in frog, make sure your ankles are in line with your knees. So you want to press the shins slightly out. One more breath here. And slowly come back. You can shake it out if you need. You can press back into a child's pose just for a breath. And then come back to that tabletop. So now I'm gonna go into the long side so you know what's going on already. So basically from that tabletop, open your knees as wide as you can. This time your left leg is gonna be out. Flex the right foot and come down. Press the hips back. Slowly melt a little more. Notice where you might starting to feel a little bit resistance. And then slowly release. You can go into a full frog if you want, so it will be the same thing. It will be the knees wide and you come down, or you can go back into that really wide child's pose. So I'm gonna go into that wide child's pose. It's actually called wild child's pose. I said that, but so very wide and wild. So open your knees and then slowly press back. And again, you can grab the edges of your sticky mat and press the mat forward as you press your hips back. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. So breathe in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands back. Slowly bring your knees to touch. Just come to a seated position. We're gonna come down to our backs. Take a moment here, hug your knees in, and plant your hands on your knees and start to draw circles. And notice if you move your legs in opposite direction, what it feels like. If it's better to move both knees to the same direction, go there. We're gonna take a happy baby. So open your knees wide, pull the knees down towards the earth, but press the soles of your feet towards the sky. If you wish to take another twist or any final pose, please go there. Otherwise, just hug the knees in, forearms around the shins, forehead to knee. Squeeze yourself nice and tight. Say something kind to yourself. And then slowly find Shavasana. Extend your legs, your arms. Find your final relaxing pose. Give yourself permission to just let go and enjoy yourself here. No more efforts, just receiving.